It was just a couple of weeks ago that the media was screaming gloom and doom when Trump announced record-high tariffs. It certainly got my attention.
Mayhem in the markets to chaos in global security. This is what 2.5 months of Trump the sequel have created so far.
Now the same outlets are bashing the president for pausing those tariffs for 90 days to renegotiate trade deals.
We are 62 days into the trade war Donald Trump launched on April 2nd, and we're still waiting around for any actual deals to be signed.
Make up your mind. Which is it? You don't like them? You do like them. The real story, it doesn't matter what Trump does. Mainstream media is trying to influence you, own you, pull you left, pull you right, and recruit you into their way of seeing the world. Let's look at some headlines. 10 times Trump has threatened, then backtracked on tariffs as, quote, taco trade jab gains traction. Trump's hated taco nickname is catching on. Trump lashes out over viral taco trade meme. What does that even stand for? Well, taco, if you haven't heard, means Trump always chickens out. Financial Times columnist Robert Armstrong coined the term taco trade in May. It describes a stock market pattern where traders profit each time Trump raises tariffs, or says he's going to, and then reverses course. Such as Trump announces high tariffs and then people panic, so the market drops, and media goes nuts.
Donald Trump is single-handedly, unilaterally, and for no reason, plunging America into economic crisis.
Then the market bounces back. All right. So the current situation is Trump has paused tariffs until July 9th. That allows for trade talks with countries concerned about the tariffs. Now, during the pause, the baseline tariff rate of 10% applies instead of the higher reciprocal tariffs. Now, the real story, trust me, is not a financial podcast. You don't want to interpret anything I say as financial advice because I am not a financial advisor. There are 1,000 places you can go and get better advice on financial maneuvering than from me. So why am I talking about this? Why am I flapping my mouth about financial things? I'm not. This is a common sense discussion. And I'm wanting to look at this from a common sense standpoint. And I have some common sense questions. This isn't about the stock market, what causes it to go up, down, A, B, C, D. Wouldn't tell you if I could, and I can't. If taco trade happens over and over, then why did the media cause mass panic when Trump first announced tariffs? If they think he's going to flip-flop, if they don't take it seriously, if they know he's going to chicken out, then why react when he says it in the first place? Why not just say Trump's saber-rattling, Trump's doing this, Trump's doing that, don't take it seriously. He's not going to stick with it. If that's what they think, if that's what they believe, if they think it's Taco Trump, then why do all of this screaming headlines? If Trump's tariffs ultimately force other nations to renegotiate fairer trade deals with the U.S., isn't that a good thing? I mean, we've had this terrible trade deficit. If he's doing something to make people step up and start treating us fairly, isn't that what everybody wants, whether you're Democrat or Republican? And if the Democrats don't like the tariffs, shouldn't they be pleased with this pause instead of mocking it? Shouldn't they be cheering him on? For years, Democrats supported fair trade, tariffs, and American jobs. Listen to Nancy Pelosi in 1996.
In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Is that reciprocal?
And let's jump forward 12 years. Here's Chuck Schumer.
Mr. President, focus on China. Go after China and do it in a smart, focused, but sharp-edged way.
That's the point mainstream media misses over and over. The fact is, we aren't as divided on this as it seems. We all want America to prosper. We all want to have a great economy. We all want fairness in international trade. And we agree on much more than we disagree on. Can't we just admit that, hey, listen, we have big differences. We may have differences on climate change. We may have differences on immigration. We may have differences on 10 different things. But don't there have to be some things that we agree on? Come on. We can't disagree on everything. Look, on again, off again tariffs are unnerving, but who doesn't want fair trade? Who doesn't want more American jobs? Who doesn't want economic opportunity? It's not a weakness to say we agree on some things. In fact, you buy credibility when you do that and then talk about the things you disagree on. Right now, it's like, they disagree on everything. If they said it was light in the day and dark at night, right now people would go look outside and see, because each side criticizes the other side on everything. If you agreed on some things, they'd go, well, at least they're credible. They admit that. How about we stop the name calling and start measuring actions on both sides of the aisle based on end results? According to the Cato Institute, trade agreements are not the simplest or often the most efficient means of reducing U.S. trade and investment barriers, but they do enhance the freedom, prosperity of Americans. They open markets abroad. They promote stability in the global economy. They prevent backsliding and destructive trade wars. They increase U.S. economic growth, incomes, exports, and job creation. Sounds pretty good. So how do we get there? Well, first, stop turning complex issues into bumper stickers, slogans just because they sound good, they're cute, they rhyme, like taco memes. How about we stop going for sound bites and start trying to solve problems? Here's a good example, article in the American Prospect, which calls itself an independent voice for liberal thought. It doesn't argue, it agrees with the facts. Since the 1990s, the U.S. has lost 90,000 American factories. Not jobs, factories. And 5 million net manufacturing jobs, pushing the trade deficit to a record $918.4 billion by 2024. And it looks for a solution. Quote, Trump's on-again, off-again tariffs are incoherent, but that should not discredit targeted tariffs paired with investment as a policy lever. Okay, let's be clear. The American Prospect is anything but pro-Trump. From the right, article from the Heritage Foundation. E.J. Antony writes, President Donald Trump's tariff diplomacy has been a shock treatment to the global economic order. Intended as kind of a radiation and chemotherapy to kill the cancer that created the Rust Belt. But overdoing the treatment can kill the patient instead without removing the carcinogens in the economy. Fortunately, the administration's negotiators have called a truce. Now, he does not say Trump can do no wrong. He's trying to make sense, common sense, of a very complex issue. That's what the mainstream media should start doing. Stop the scaremongering, stop the taco jokes, focus on context, clarity, solutions. What that boils down to is the people we have charged with solving problems. Novel idea. Start trying to solve the problems. That's the real story. And if you want to get the real story every day, follow and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, Dr. Phil here. My network, Merit TV, has it all.
Now, let me blow your mind.
Merit TV's got the news that matters.
The selection of a new pope.
Entertainment you crave.
Busted.
Everybody in a good mood today?
And live events.
Surprise.
What am I, chopped liver?
With serious punch.
Big shot.
Go to merittv.com and download the Merit TV app today.
This episode is brought to you by Masa Chips. For decades, chips were fried in tallow until big corporations switched to cheap seed oils. Now, seed oils make up 20% of the average American's daily calories, linked to inflammation and metabolic issues. Masa is bringing back the good stuff with 3 simple ingredients: organic nixtamalized corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. No seed oils, no junk, just a crunchy, sturdy chip that won't break in your guac. Masa Chips is beloved by tens of thousands of customers and has been endorsed by industry-leading health and nutrition experts like Ben Greenfield and Gary Brecka. Ready to give Masa a try? Go to masachips.com/merit and use code MERIT for 25% off your first order. That's masachips.com/merit and code MERIT for 25% off your first order.